Okay, so now we're going to figure out how to export. So once we're totally done with our with editing and adding our titles and effects, and we're totally happy with how our video looks, we need to export. So before we actually export, I want you guys to go over to your project window, which probably looks like this, where you see all of your clips as thumbnails. Down on the left corner of that box, you have an option to choose List View. When you click that, you get all of your files listed here by their file name, and then you also get a lot of information about those files. So what you want to look for is your frame rate. So my frame rate for the majority of my clips, almost all of them, is 60 frames per second. And that's because I chose to slow down every single clip as well. So 50 frames per second, and my image size is 1280 by 720. Okay, so I need to remember these two things when I go to export. So to export, we go to File, Export, Media. So now here, this is something you might run into. I have this, see this yellow line? I have the project file highlighted right now, but that's not what I want to export. I want to export my timeline. So make sure that once you've figured out your frame rate and your file size, that you come over here and click your timeline again. So I'm going to go to File, Export, Media, and that looks better. The first thing we want to look at is up here where it says Source Scaling. We want to make sure that it does indeed say change output size to match source. The next thing we want to look at is our format. So a format needs to be QuickTime, which mine already is, and then our preset. Now this is where your information you looked up is going to come in handy. So I know my files are 1280 by 720, so this looks pretty good for me. But my frame rate is a little different. I want it to be at 30 frames per second. So for most of you, you're probably going to pick this option, HD 1080i 29.97. This is going to be great for most of everyone in class because that's how most of us shot. So for me though, because my image size is different, I'm going to choose this one. When I go down to output name, this is where you name the file, and you also tell it where to go, so where to save the file. So I'm just going to name this demo, and it's going into the folder I want, so I hit save. And then after that, we want to make sure that we're exporting video and exporting audio. Those are both checked, so it's perfect. For video codec, you want it to be H.264, so that's right. Now on quality, we want this to be up to 100%. Now this again is your resolution size, so it's 1280 by 720, that's great. Now this is where I can change my frame rate. And I'm going to, because all of my videos were shot at 59.94 frames per second. We choose these two selections and then we hit export.